Okay, hello. Welcome to our recorded breakthrough session. This is the first one, so welcome. And
Thank
what
you.
I would love is for you to kind of give me a little recap, or just put it in the most succinct words that you can, like what you're going through.
Okay, I have had a relationship with this guy that didn't take off ever because there were always three of us in the relationship, which was him, me, and his so-called best friend that now is probably going to be his girlfriend. And this has been so difficult all of the time because I could see the problems very clearly, but he couldn't. And I don't even know this other girl, but I think she doesn't want to see anything from what I can perceive, like energetically from her and from what he says about her. And I've been trying to, I feel that this is not good for me because there is no way out of him feeling attracted to both of us and choosing right, sometimes me, sometimes her, sometimes both. And but it's so hard to, I keep saying let's stop talking, and then somehow we resume talking, and every time, I think we said goodbye, I don't know, 10 times already. And every time we cry, and every time there's so much hurt for me and for him. I just want to stop.
Ooh, yeah, that's a really challenging situation. That's really
Yeah.
challenging. Yeah. And so there's this relationship that never really got its legs. And the first question I want to ask is, are you monogamous by nature? Like, do you identify as monogamous?
Yes. Yes. I think it's my nature. I mean, I was married for 9 years, and now I'm not anymore. But when I was in love with my husband, I mean, other people didn't exist for me. I didn't look at them as potential partners. For me, that's a sign that the relationship is over if I look at someone else in that way.
Okay. So there's kind of this belief in your mind that an attraction to someone else, it really invalidates the attraction that you have to another person.
It's not that I don't feel it like a belief. I feel that when I am attracted to someone else, I find out it's the red flag that tells me, oh, go look if you are still attracted to your husband or to the guy you're dating, and I'm not anymore.
So you've noticed that anytime you've felt attraction for someone else, it's really a sign that actually the attraction between you and your current partner is waning.
Yes.
Yes. And so it's really I mean, I would say it's incredibly, incredibly challenging to believe that it could be different for someone else, right? It's really incredibly challenging to believe that this man could have an attraction to both of you at the same time, you and this best friend of his.
No, I do believe that. I just don't want to be a part of it because I'm not
Mm,
comfortable. It
right.
hurts.
Yeah, so it's not really your style. So seeing that that's how someone else operates, it just doesn't work for you. It feels uncomfortable and it feels wrong.
Yes, wrong for me. I cannot. I think I cannot possibly feel good in that situation. I don't judge him. I mean, he's allowed to be attracted to whomever, even 5 people at the same time. people, but I just don't want to feel it, because he used to, stop talking to me when he was with her. Like, he would text all day long on a normal routine day, tons of messages and phone calls, hour-long phone calls, and then he would completely disappear. And I'm not comfortable with that. I need to rely on you. I need to know you are in my life. And I think I'm going to cry. I
Crying is
need to
absolutely
know
welcome.
I can rely on you every day of my life. I felt like I couldn't reach out to him when I knew he was going to be with her. It's like I wasn't allowed. And that hurt.
Yeah, that's really painful. It sounds like you have this connection between being able to be in contact with someone, not just being able to reach out, but to be able to receive something back, to really feel welcome to reach out.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really painful. And
Yes, it is.
feeling like, yeah, it's almost, and you said this a little in your prep session, that it's like playing second fiddle, like being second to her.
I wouldn't say that, because I know he cares about me, and it feels good to both of us when we are connecting. We are like magnets.
Mm.
And when we can out to each other, it flows. It feels good, and it's natural. So whenever this connection has to be cut because he won't tap into it, but maybe I'm not as distracted as he is in that moment, so I still feel the pull towards that flow of connection and of conversation. It hurts to have to resist that.
Mm. Yeah. So I'm hearing that there's this really powerful flow, this really beautiful connection that you're feeling, whether you're actually talking to him or not. But when you're
Yes.
feeling it and he's not talking to you, it feels really painful. It feels like something's cut off, or like you're supposed to try to resist it, but it's really hard to resist it. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually think that he feels the pull too when he's there, but he knows that he cannot dedicate all the time we usually do to this, because he is with someone else. And I know that too. So we have to force ourselves to, I mean, he choose to force himself, and I have to go along, even if I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. So really having to respect someone else's desire, and respect that that like you can't, right, it's like you always deserve to get your needs met, but when you have your need attached to a particular person, it's really hard to not dip that into entitlement, which I don't feel like you're doing. Like, I feel like you're really respecting him, you're respecting his sovereignty, you're respecting his desire, and you're like, well, it just sucks. It just hurts.
Yes, I think that's a good summary. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it sucks, and I don't want to feel like this. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to experience that.
What is it that you don't want to feel, that you are feeling?
I'm feeling that this is somehow fair. I don't know to who or what. It's just a global sense of injustice that's not, I don't feel that this is unfair to me only. It's like we are not honoring that beautiful and special connection, and that sucks. And I don't know, maybe if we can honor it the way it should be, I'd rather not have it at all. I think it would hurt less in the long run.
Yeah, so you have this idea of what it means to honor the connection to its fullest, right? And then that idea of what it would look like to honor it is so compelling that you're like, well, if we can't honor it that way, then I'd actually rather not have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like we don't let that thing exist sometimes. And it's not because it's natural. Because when we don't talk and we don't feel the need to talk, feels different.
So it feels different when you can feel that the connection is saying we don't talk versus when he's saying like we can't talk. He's cutting it off.
Yes.
Ooh, wow, that is such a beautiful, just nuanced insight right there. I think that's really, really wise. It's wise that you can feel the difference between the natural lull in a connection, which is part of the connection, right? That like we can't connect if we're not distinct individuals, right? So when that distinction is much more there, it's like, yeah, okay, here we are in this space of a lot of distinction, and the connection is still alive in the space between us.
Yes,
and
I can accept that. That doesn't
Exactly.
hurt.
Right. And then there's this other thing where you feel like he's kind of forcing this split or kind of cutting off his connection with you in order to pursue a connection with someone else. And then you can feel how gritty or like friction, how much friction there is in that.
Yes. And I think that I'm also a bit sad that I can see a kind of selfishness that I don't like, that I don't want to feel in my life when he disregards my needs, because he has the right to choose that he wants to be with that other person, and he has a right to choose that also, although he feels somehow attracted to me as well. I can accept that. What I don't want is him not let me go.
Okay. Yeah. So, and that was the question that I was about to ask, is like, which direction do we want to take this in? Because, I could certainly help you potentially feel a little better in the connection if you wanted to maintain it. But what I'm really hearing is this kind of like, I want to let this go. And the question is like, how do I let this go if he's not going to let it go?
Yes.
Because you have so much respect for who he is as an individual. And I can't overstate how wise that is and how uncommon it is. So it's really common for someone in your position to be like, he's being unfair to me. He's supposed to be loving me and not her, And so there's just so much maturity and so much awareness and respect and honoring of her, of him, of his sovereignty, of his desire. And it's just so beautiful. And I can see why your heart is breaking. Because, there's something to that righteousness that lets your heart kind of have this layer of protection around it. But the way that you have this beautiful, profound respect for him, it's not a protected heart. That is a soft, soft heart that's going to feel every bit of this. It makes perfect sense that you're hurting a lot. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So this beautiful respect that you have for his sovereignty leads to this kind of like, oh, why am I so selfish? This judgment of yourself, because right, you know better than you feel, right? Like how you're supposed to respect him, but really at the end of the day, you feel really hurt and you feel really connected to this man and you feel like he's so important and the connection that you have is so important.
Yes, but I'm willing to let go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it feels like you're willing to let go, and then maybe like a little bit of you isn't willing to let go.
No, I think that letting go right now is another way of honoring this connection by not making it something I'd say dirty, because it's
Mm.
not acting in a respectful. I think it's not acting in a way that his girlfriend. I'm trying to choose my words wisely here.
Mhm.
I think that she doesn't know anything about this. I'm pretty sure of that. And I think that she would not be okay with the way he acts when he's with me, although he has a relationship with her. I could also be okay with this if everyone was respected in my eyes. I mean,
Wow.
if everyone knew what's happening, I could also say, okay, let's see what happens. I I have my boundaries. I wouldn't, I don't know, sleep with him or kiss him because that would be too much. But I could still talk to him and see him in the way we do. But not if this is something done behind someone else's back.
Wow. Wow. That is so much courage. That's so much fortitude that you have, and such a honor for your own integrity. Like I just feel how committed you are to your own integrity. And that has two sides to it, right? There's the side where like you're going to be clean and you're going to be respectful of everybody else involved. And there's also this really powerful self-knowledge element that like you are walking the walk of your own worth. You're like, I don't deserve to be a secret. I don't deserve to be this dirty little like thing. Like I deserve to be in the light. I deserve to be in the open, that like my love is pure and good. And if you're going to put it in a place where it's going to be hidden, like I can't participate in that.
Yes,
And you
exactly.
have and you have the courage for that to break your heart, to be so committed to that. Like you're so committed to that that your heart is breaking. But that's more preferable to abandoning your integrity.
Yes, of course.
Wow. Wow. That's really, really impressive. Yeah. You deserve a lot of credit for that. That's a huge deal. It's really beautiful.
I keep crying.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, you're not getting recognized in this situation for how beautifully you're behaving. You are really demonstrating a lot of integrity and honor here.
But, I'm not sure I want anyone else to recognize that. I mean, I'm happy with how I'm behaving. I'm just I think that the thing that hurts me the most is this. I think I see this connection as something really pure and natural, and that always worked on by itself. I don't want it. I refuse completely the idea of this becoming something that is tarnished.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't feel the same anymore. I don't want that. I would I if I let it if I let this go, it's still beautiful. It's still pure.
Mm. Wow. Yeah.
I feel like he's being selfish in wanting to keep this alive, regardless of the condition it will end in.
Yeah. Yeah. So the question is, how do you extract yourself and remove yourself when he's not going to?
Yeah.
Like, how do you honor that truth that you know is true when he's going to kind of fight it? And there's also that natural impulse to like, and that's why I say there's like this little part of you that doesn't want to let it go, because something in you, even as you're trying to let it go, continues to say yes when he comes back, right?
I think that's the magnet I was talking about. I can't
Mm-hmm.
stop it. It's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's this kind of
And
powerless element.
I don't know how to tune out of from the power of this magnet, because I'm so used to tune in to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's kind of these two options that you're feeling is like I could tune out of this magnet and be able to drop it, or I tune in and I can't drop it. Like the magnet is too powerful, right?
Yes.
So what I would love to offer here, and we're kind of coming to our closing here. So what I would love to offer is the idea that, you know, that you've already said, right? Like that you actually know that you've brought into this session, which is that like honoring this means letting it go. That like tuning into the magnet means that right now, with the way that things are, the magnet says, drop it, right? Like the actual command of the connection is to create space right now. And that
Yes.
and so I think the real key here is going to be in um, knowing that the distance is going to create more of a feeling of connection because it's the right thing for the connection. And so knowing that when the connection, the feeling of the connection increases, to keep doing the distance instead of feeling the connection increase and say, oh, we must come together now. That like feeling that connection increase and feeling like him maybe even pull on it is to say like, actually, like I feel the way that this distance is producing this love. So I want to continue the distance.
I'm afraid I'm too weak to resist when he tries to show up.
I mean, I would have a very hard time calling you weak. You are demonstrating so much incredible strength in this connection. And so what I would offer is that, you know, you really honor and you go really slow when if you end it and he reaches back out, really deepen into the courage that's saying I'm not going to violate my integrity, and let that courage guide you and know that that courage is there and know that that strength is there, that like you would rather your heart break than engage, you know, in a way that makes you feel wrong or dirty or
Yeah.
hidden or secret. And so because basically there's these two planes. There's the connection and then there's the relationship. So for right now, the relationship isn't meeting your criteria of integrity.
Mhm.
So honoring the connection means ending the relationship or
Yes, that's
transitioning it.
exactly how I feel.
Mhm. And so that piece that really wants to reach back out to him, it is actually like in that relationship sense, right? And so maybe offering that piece that wants to say yes, offering that piece the real connection and reminding yourself in that moment when it gets really compelling to violate
Mhm.
what you have decided is right for you, to really rest in the metaphysical connection, right? I always feel it kind of behind me. I don't know
Mhm.
where you feel it, but there's a felt sense always of like where that person is, where that connection is, where that energy is. And you can absolutely choose to cut the energy. And it sounds like you've tried that and it's not quite working. So that's why I'm saying like to allow the energy to flow in the subconscious or your experiential reality rather than in the physical 3D reality that you're in.
Okay.
And letting that be real, letting that connection be real. Because if anything is going to reshape the physical reality, it's your energetic connection to what's true. And you may find as you deepen into it that like, okay, I feel him in that direction, but like actually in that direction, there's actually this piece of me that I've been accessing through him. And that's the thing I
Mhm.
really want to be connected to. Or maybe there's some divinity that's moving through there, that divine masculine is like how you're experiencing the divine masculine through him. And then when you kind of take him in the physical world out of that, you may find that there's actually a divinity that you're connected to, or a part of yourself that you're connected to through him.
Okay.
And then resting in that connection can give you the steps forward.
Okay.
And I'd also offer that you don't judge it if it takes a few more times. That every time you say goodbye is part of the learning experience. And for it to be working, like we can't define whether it's working or not based on what the physical reality looks like. Like what I see is that your energetic strength, your integrity, your commitment and relationship to yourself is strengthening through each cycle of this. And I like to think of it as a spiral rather than a cycle, right? That like this
Mhm.
part looks a lot like this part, but it is slightly different. And you've moved just a little bit farther away from it.
Okay.
So
I
I'd love
hope
to,
so.
yeah, and I'd love to offer that you define success as, you know, maybe in a moment it's going to feel right to connect with him. And then maybe in the next moment, I'll have to cut it off again. And maybe, and so really just honoring and trusting the signals that are happening for you. Um, and building a story about how strong you are, building a story about how courageous you are, building a story about how much you trust yourself, and using every single thing that happens in this connection as evidence of your courage, evidence of your strength, evidence of your commitment and your trust in yourself.
Oh, wow, this is a really beautiful point of view, a way to look at this, at what's happening.
Yeah, that's the only way I can see it, because I can feel this courage and your open heart and your love. It's really beautiful to behold.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I don't know. I feel maybe I got this. Maybe I can reach to to the top of this.
Oh yeah, I know you've got this. I know you do. Because you've been handling it so beautifully so far.
I feel I'm kind of tired though.
Right. Right. And that's part of the thing you trust and listen to. Right. So you have been doing what I'm suggesting here. And I only want you to see that you've been doing it. Right. That like this kind of situation, what's not sustainable doesn't sustain. So you're kind of reaching the end and you can feel that end, like this just it can't go on like this, right? And
Yes.
so you're feeling it. It's like in your tiredness, that's it ending. That's it really coming to a close, right? And that's what I mean by seeing every little bit of it as right? Like my tiredness, my exhaustion, completely right. That's exactly how I'm supposed to be feeling right now because I'm connected to what's true. I feel you really based in truth here and really based in honor and respect for him
Yeah,
and
that
yourself.
makes me feel good. I mean, I think I'm trying to be, so
I see
I
it.
hope I am.
I feel it. Yeah, you are. I think if you continue doing what you're doing, it's you know, it may not be pretty. It may not be fun expressly, but I think that you are on a beautiful track here. I think that you have a gorgeous heart. So thank you for sharing it with me.
Thank you.
Yeah.